Welcome to Fashion Neurosis, Amelia Dimoldenberg.
Hello.
Can I ask you what you're wearing and why you chose these particular clothes?
Yes. I am wearing a Peachy Den shirt. I love this brand and I think it's cute. And I just did my own collection with them as well. I just love wearing them always. And Levi's jeans, because they're the comfiest. And then shoes, I don't know where they're from, but my stylist Chloe pulled them for me. But I was going to wear something different. I was going to wear a Gucci black dress that was incredibly tight and like pencil skirt, and I looked amazing. And then I just thought, oh, it's a bit too dressed up, and maybe I want to feel a bit more comfortable. And then I was just rewatching the Kate Moss episode, and I was like, oh God, she's also wearing all black, and I was like, I don't want to look too much like Kate Moss. You know, that would be just, probably, I don't know, so, you know what I mean? And so, I'm just basically wearing this because I didn't want to look like Kate Moss. Which see, if you squint a bit, it's Kate Moss. So yeah, I just thought this would be a bit more relaxing.
Oh, it looks good on the sofa.
But also kind of still tailoring, So
yeah,
I thought it was like,
is that one of your
good balance?
Peachy Den designs?
No, it's not actually. I thought it'd be too on the nose to wear my own collection. But I just really love this piece, and I think it's like casual but also nice tailoring as well.
You're the creator and host of Chicken Shop Date, which is a hugely successful chat show YouTube series, which was too oddball to get commissioned. And the aesthetic of the show is instantly recognisable. And I wondered how you decided on your own look for the identity of this role.
Ooh, like as in the show? Well, me, everything about it, the identity of it. Well, it's in a chicken shop, which is a lot of the identity. And that idea came about, I was in a youth club in Northwest London, near where we're here today, actually. And everyone there was, we made a magazine, and it was a youth-run publication. And everyone at the magazine was really into UK rap and grime music. And at the time I was listening to like Michael Bublé and Katy Perry. And I really wanted to interview the artist that everyone was listening to. Thought a great way to do that would be a date. And I'd also never been on a date before, so killing two birds with one stone. And someone said, oh, you should go on a date where no one would ever go on a first date. And that is how the chicken shop element happened. And yeah, I love it as a date location, and I love the aesthetic of a chicken shop, the white, the red. The overhead lighting isn't always very flattering, but I think it adds to the it adds to the vibe of the show. And I think it humbles the A-listers when they come into the shop now more than ever. But it's location is always very important in anything, and especially in storytelling. And I think it really makes the show what it is. It's not in a studio. Some people think it's a green screen. And then my personality in the show is quite deadpan, sarcastic, awkward, but in a charming way, I would say. And I think it's also grown as I've grown. I've been doing it for 10 years now. And the kind of persona kind of happened when I was writing it for the column in the magazine, and just thought, I'm going to heighten the awkwardness that I already have, and as a way to make this more entertaining and to make it more comedic.
And what about what you decided to wear? Because going on a date in a chicken shop is like, I would imagine it has certain constraints for glamour, but did you kind of factor that, or have a conundrum, or...
I mean, at first I was just wearing, my everyday clothes I would wear, but maybe like a little bit more dressed up. But when I look back and I see what I was wearing for the early episode of Chicken Shop Date, I just think, why were you wearing that? Well, one of my friends came up to me, I remember, like on the early days, and said, do you mean to dress frumpy on the dates? Oh, I said, frumpy? This is my wardrobe. And I also, one of what you were mentioning about like trying to get this commissioned for television, which I did try to when it first had the idea, and everyone said no. And one of the commissioners said, maybe let's do a screen test, and for you, and I thought, okay, we're leading, we're going somewhere with this. I think you should dress in a tight dress and a mini skirt and heels and glam it up. And I remember thinking, no, that would be totally wrong for me and for the show. And my style has evolved actually over the course of the show, but as a rule I don't wear black, so I don't think I've worn black in any of the over 100 episodes.
God.
And I always try and wear, I'm very specific with what I wear actually on the show, because I want to wear things that are bright, colourful, fun, playful, cute, because I think it's a great contrast to my deadpan, dry humour. When I roll my eyes, I think an eye roll looks better in a pink cardigan, don't you think?
That's really good. I'm probably the opposite. I dress dark. I want to sort of melt away.
I always want to dress in black more, actually, because I think it's very chic. But then something happens and I just, it's like two paths, and I think I'll take the dark side, and then I always just take the
You've got
colourful
plenty
one.
of time to dress dark.
My mum, though, she dresses all her life dressed in colour. So maybe that's where I get it from. But she's in her 70s now, and she will be head to toe in a multitude of different colours and prints. So
So nice. You cite The Devil Wears Prada as an early influence, and you have such original style, and I wondered why you wanted to be like those caricatures. And was it a control or a beauty thing?
That's funny. Devil Wears Prada is a really meaningful movie for me, because it's kind of, when I watched that, I remember so vividly, I was 12 years old, and I already was interested in fashion magazines, but I kind of didn't really understand how it all worked. And watching The Devil Wears Prada to me was like watching a documentary. And I really just thought, I need to be there. I need to be working at Vogue. Like, I need to be doing what Andy's doing and running around grabbing coffee. Like, I just wanted to be in that world so much. And I just really just fell in love with it, which to many people might sound crazy, because lots of people wouldn't want to be in that world at all. There's lots of so superficial in many ways, but I really related to Andy's character and how she really wanted to do something that was meaningful. And I think Miranda Priestley actually is just such a fantastic character, and I think she also is incredibly principled, and I love her. I just love that movie. I love Emily Blunt as well. And so yeah, I just find that film it's just impacted me in a great way, because then it honestly then led me down the path where I was like, okay, I want to work in fashion magazines. And my mum said, well, if you want to work in fashion, you got to go to Central St. Martin's. And so that's why I went. And I honestly think it's all because of The Devil Wears Prada.
God, I'm glad it had some value. Did you see the Elton John musical? I saw that.
I did.
It was fantastic, wasn't it?
Was it?
Oh, I loved it.
You
I loved
loved
it
it?
much more than the film.
Are you kidding me?
I don't really like
I think
the
maybe
film.
you're in the minority there.
Oh, I think
No,
I
I
was in
mean-
the majority. Everyone was freaking out.
Okay. I feel like the film is stronger, but I love a musical. So I'm never going to knock down a musical, but I would say that the film is better in my eyes.
I suppose for me, the film seemed to be the most facile kind of depiction of fashion, which isn't my experience. And so anyway, I'm glad it produced your brilliant idea, because I think it's much better than Devil Wears Prada.
Well, yeah, I mean, Chicken Shop Date, I guess, wasn't kind of born from Devil Wears Prada. I guess it was like two things were going on in my adolescence. Was this want to kind of work in fashion magazines, and then through actually going to a youth club where we made a magazine that wasn't fashion specific, it was pop culture specific. I kind of fell in love with pop culture as a whole. I've always loved fashion, but to me, I've kind of loved all elements of pop culture, and that's how the music came through. And yeah, I mean, journalism has been a big like interest of mine. I love the idea of being able to uncover and capture different stories and different people's perspectives on things, and specifically around culture. I think it's fascinating and has always interested me.
And did you have any obsession with certain pieces of clothing as a child?
Clothing as a child, I feel like I was always begging my mum to like buy me things and go to different shops, and my parents have never been the type to let me have the things that I wanted as a child. Like, yeah, I was allowed, but I was like, I never had anything designer or anything like that. And I would always just be like, I think it was just this fashion magazine thing. I'd be reading the fashion magazine, be like, why can't I have a Prada coat and a Versace handbag? And they're like, Amelia, relax. You obviously we can't give you those things. But yeah, I remember just going to like Tammy Girl or like Next or, New Look, and, buying certain things. But I don't remember being obsessed with clothes in that way. Me and my sister used to dress the same a lot.
Was that an agreement between you both, or
I'm
your
not
parents?
sure. I think that my sister, I think it sort of changed. I think at first my sister wanted to replicate everything I was doing, so would ask to wear the same clothes as me. And then I think that it then shifted, and she just couldn't think of anything worse than wearing the same clothes as me. And, and now it's kind of, we're back to, I don't know, I think maybe I copy her style a bit more at the moment. But she raids my wardrobe and I'm not allowed to raid hers, which is, so unfair, isn't it? Yeah.
And you said a lot of your drive comes from wanting to impress your parents. I wondered if is it both of them, or is it one more than the other?
I think it's both of them, but maybe my dad is a bit harder to impress.
What kind of things do you try to
impress them with?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why I'm so ambitious, is because I always want the validation of my parents. Maybe that other people can relate to that, but I don't know. I think as long as I can remember, I've always been like, hello, look at me, look at me, look at me. And now I'm like, hello, I'm famous, look at me, look at me. Has it worked? Has it worked yet? Can you see me? So I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah. Do you notice whether it is effective? Where, are you sensing a kind of that you're getting what you want, that they are impressed with what you're doing? Yeah,
they are. They are my biggest fans. So
it's so nice.
They are impressed by me for sure. And yeah, I think that it's just, I've always cared about their opinion, and I've always valued their opinion too. I think they have great taste, and I think that they're great people, obviously. And so I've always wanted to do right by them. But I think sometimes it can go into, maybe it's too far, and it's like, what do I actually want to do? What do I actually want for myself? But funny you say this, I am working on this in therapy at the moment. So
yeah, I had that a lot with my father. I felt like I need to know what he thinks before I can really trust that I'm doing the right thing, even though I did loads of things that he didn't necessarily approve of. But his opinion was so important to me. I almost restrained my own instinct about things, and I think got in the way. I suppose it got in the way of my confidence. But you said you found it difficult to make friends at a certain time, and do you think becoming such a brilliant interviewer made you feel more needed by people?
I guess it's like that feeling of like entertaining people or making people laugh is a way to connect with others, and I really felt that when I was in secondary school. At the beginning of school, when I started, I didn't really have any friends at all, and I then kind of made a considered effort to like try and befriend people, and I found that through using my humour was a way that I was able to connect with people and to make friends and to be noticed. I think that so often when you're young, and I even find it, so many ways as an adult, you're wanting to be noticed, you're wanting to have a seat at the table, and you're wanting people to listen to you and to take what you say seriously. And so often that it's really hard. And I think I found that making people laugh is a shortcut to that, and it's also a way to figure out who your friends are. Is, I think when I think about making friends, I think a really great way to make friends is through a shared sense of humor. I think that's always the way that you can say, okay, why are we friends? It's like, oh, because we have the same interests a lot of the time, and we also have the same sense of humor. So I think it's a very powerful thing, is humor.
It's very endearing as well, I must say. And does your technique of odd questioning come from a way of managing self-consciousness, like a deflecting technique? So I always remember trying to be as inscrutable as possible, because I thought, like that, they won't be able to place me and they won't be able to negatively compare me.
I feel like I've never thought about it in that way. I think that, like, to me, the kind of questions that I ask are kind of based in a lot of research. I do a lot of research on my guests, and then I kind of use that research to try and think of questions that maybe people haven't been asked before, that maybe often have a joke within them themselves. And I think that, like, the oddballness of it kind of comes as well from, like, wanting to catch people off guard. But that again comes from this idea that when you catch people off guard, you're able to create this energy between people that is, like, really unique and special, and, like, not everyone can do that in a conversation. And I think it's capturing those moments of, like, someone being like, what's happening, or awkwardness, that I think people really like with what I do, and is what I love with what I do as well. So yeah, and I think the sarcasm and within myself and my work has come from a place of protecting yourself. I think that sarcasm is a great shield, and especially against boys.
Yeah. It's very confident and insightful, though, I think, to use language the way you do, and also to hold it back. Because I always remember meeting someone who I had a long relationship with, and sitting there at this table with him, and there being silence for ages, and thinking, oh, well, he doesn't like me. Later on, when we got together, he said, that's when I knew that you liked me, because we had this silence. And it was really exciting thing to know. And
that's cool. I love that.
Yeah,
so romantic.
It was good.
Yeah, I feel like I'm comfortable in the silence, but I also use it strategically in my work. Like I'm like, it's the rhythm of comedy, I think, is what I'm so interested in. And I think that so often silences allow for that break that is needed to punctuate a punchline, or, like, you know, when I'm in the edit for an episode, and even in everything I do in my red carpet interviews, and when I'm there, I'm like, okay, this is gonna sing better. It's gonna be better if there's a pause here, because of the melody of the comedy of it. So it's actually kind of, I'm using it on purpose. There's a game plan.
Yeah, it's really good. And you designed a T-shirt with "flirt" written on it.
Yes.
And in your Oscars chicken shop date, you told Mikey Madison that you're a professional flirter, but you find being sexy embarrassing. And I wondered why sexy is embarrassing.
Okay, this is something I'm trying to work on. I actually had an idea while I was on holiday last week that I want to do burlesque lessons, because I actually just find it embarrassing. Yeah, this being sexy, and I don't know, it's like a self-conscious thing, isn't it? That like, I just feel like I'm like, oh God, because like to be judged being sexy, or like for me, okay, this is my idea of how, for me to think I'm being sexy, and for someone to go, oh my God, what the hell are you doing? Like, that is worst case scenario. Like, I couldn't think of anything worse. So it's much safer really to be awkward and funny, because then if someone says that's really weird, you're like, yeah, I was meant to be weird.
Yeah.
So you can't get caught out. Whereas I actually have so much respect for people that are sexy, because I'm too self-conscious to be sexy. And I am obviously behind closed doors. Like, I can do that. But like, with their eyes on you, like, oh God, I want to work on that. I think it would be a good thing for me to work on. So I thought it would be fun to do some burlesque lessons, because I think that is an amazing way to get in touch with your sensuality and your confidence. And I also love dancing, and I was doing dance lessons for a while. And I think that it would just be another fun thing, like a hobby to do, where you can feel yourself getting better at something.
Yeah, it's so true. I totally know what you mean. I think I kind of dressed as much as I could like a boy. So for the similar reasons, like, don't get me wrong, I don't think, I'm more than just in this narrow container. But then when you do get into your body, it's so much fun, and doing dancing is a great idea. Like,
yeah, I find like dressing sexy I can do. Like, I feel like a lot of my red carpet looks and things like that, I'm very comfortable wearing something sexy. It's just when it comes to the performative aspect of it, like if someone's like, okay, now pose and be sexy, or like walk over there and be sexy, or like, can you do this interview and like be sexy? Ugh. God, no thanks. But
I suppose it sounds as though you're supposed to be absenting another part of yourself but does anyone ever say to you, do this and be sexy?
No, they don't.
No.
But like, as in, maybe like in photos, photographers, or like in certain things. But, I also think it's why people like my interview style, for example, is because it's its own thing. It's me, and it's not necessarily so, I don't know, it's quirky in a way, and that's quite fun. It's fun.
And you've acknowledged beauty is considered a currency for women, and what about men? What's their currency?
What is their currency? Well, like everything. They've got a very wide range of currency they can pull from, literally pretty much anything. But I think with women, it's a lot more narrow. And I think, obviously, there's not just your beauty that's your currency, but I do think that it, in the grand scheme of things in society, and it's definitely up there with what's most valued in women.
And if you fancy someone and don't like something they're wearing, does it kill your attraction?
Probably, yeah. I think clothes are so important. I think that, there's a guy can just transform with clothes, and so can a woman. Like, that program Trinny and Susannah from back in the day?
Yes, I
haven't watched it obviously since I was a child, but it was obviously it was flawed in many ways, and it was mean and lots of things probably, if you look back now, you wouldn't dream of saying. But what I liked about the show is the idea that you're maybe just wearing the wrong shape clothes for your body, and that if you just wore a top that wasn't such a low neck, or wasn't such a high neck, or it was fitted here, it transforms you. And I really think that. And I think so often, like, people, especially now, so obsessed with plastic surgery. I think, why don't you just pay your stylist for a day and get them to tell you what shapes would suit your body, and I think that you will look completely different, and you won't need to cut up your face. Yeah.
There was a brilliant episode on Trinny and Susannah where she makes the person change their bra.
Oh, yes, I remember this episode.
It was just a masterstroke, and it was so kind of sympathetic and caring of this woman. I can't remember much about her except for having this good bra changed everything. And it's like the kind of things your mother's supposed to do, but my mother never did anything like that. But
I also think it's so hard to know, like,
Yeah.
for yourself, like what like not everyone has the eye to do that, and that's why I myself and so many other people in the industry are so lucky to work with such amazing stylists who really are those other eyes for you, that can see, because you know we're so self-critical as humans, and you see yourself in a way that other people don't. The amount of times that, like, I always think this, like when I'm feeling self-conscious, I think, okay, every time I look in the mirror, I feel like I look completely different. Like each day, depending on my outfit, my hair, the way I've done my makeup, I think I look amazing sometimes. And oh God, what are you doing this day?
Yeah.
But when I think about my friends coming to meet me for whatever every day, they look the same every time I see them. Like they literally look the same. And when they maybe look a bit better, it's because of their outfit. And I think I try and remember that like, honestly, you look the same every day. Like, so you're probably having a good day every day.
And that's a really good approach, having a good day every day. I suppose it's true. I mean, I always tend to choose things that are like the other things I like. And every now and then I'll push myself slightly out of my normal constraints. And then it feels really exciting. But, I mean, to me, there's nothing sexier than an awkward silence. And you're brilliant at that. And do you allow those on an actual date?
Yeah, I think so. It's funny because I met with someone recently and we were just talking the whole time. And it was amazing, like, to be talking the whole time with someone. And I felt like that was like amazing connection, to the point where he said, like, we never have any silences. Should we just like stop talking for a bit? And so we were like walking down the street and we just like didn't say anything, but it was really funny because we realized we just couldn't stop talking to each other. But I think that is a good thing in a way as well. I think it's romantic to be non-stop talking with someone as well. And a silence, I think, is when you know you're comfortable with someone and when you don't want to fill it.
Yeah.
And I've had situations with people where I can really feel the silence, you know, and it's a weight and it is really awkward and that's when you know something's not right. But when a silence is just, you don't feel it, you know, you don't even acknowledge it, then in a romantic sense, I think that you're on the right track there.
It's quite sexy to be told not to speak for a while.
100%.
Yeah. And you said you become weirder to put people at their ease. And I wondered if you ever kind of lose yourself in that moment and forget what you're trying to ask them.
Oh, 100%, all the time. That's literally all I do. All I do is forget my questions. Like, some people think, like when I like ask, I suddenly go, okay, so like, what's your favorite airplane? And they're like, oh my God, she's so random. It's such a kooky, weird question to ask. It's like, no, I've literally forgotten my actual question. And I had to pluck something out of thin air. I saw an airplane and I just said that. Like, it's actually not. It's actually, I forget things all the time. I have the worst memory ever. And yeah, definitely being weird and going on a tangent, I'll forget it even more.
Well, it's very enjoyable to watch anyway. I'm studying your strange questions. I just...
Thank you.
Love them.
I love your interview style. It's like, because your interview style is so specific because it has a purpose. It's kind of referencing psychoanalysis and I think it's got, you know, a theme of fashion. And I think that when anything, you know, when it's got like a theme and it's got a purpose and it's got a point of difference, I feel like that always stands out, which is why when I first saw this series, I thought, oh wow, that's brilliant, because even the way it's shot, you know, it's got its own identity, and I think that really stands out, especially now when everything is so oversaturated with the amount of content that we have to consume.
Well, that means a lot coming from you. In fact, I wanted to ask you what chat shows you like watching, and I like Parky. And did you ever see Fishing with John?
No.
God, it's talk of weird. It's really weird.
Really? I have
But
to watch that.
but my favourite is Hot Ones, and you've been on Hot Ones. I watched your interview, and I don't know how you managed to cope with. How did you keep your makeup, everything was perfect. And
Yeah.
how did you
It was.
manage your body when you were consuming that stuff, which you said that you can't handle spice? And I think I'd have a sort of internal organ failure if I had to eat those things.
Well, that's what I thought would happen to me too. But I take everything I do incredibly seriously. So I did training for this. I did training for the hot ones.
What a
I
brilliant
met with my
idea.
friend, and he owns like a wings company, like chicken wings company. And we did training where we did hot spicy wings, and I did it. And the training was worse than the real thing. And I did it about 2 days before. Oh my God, it was so intense. And then when I came to the studio with Sean to film Hot Ones, I was so excited because I love that show too. And Sean's a really good friend of mine. I think he's such a fantastic host, and I love the show. And I was just honored to be there and to get to talk to him. And I think you have to see it as a competition, really. You know, it's not like you're eating a dinner with this kind of food. It's like you're having a bite and you're trying to get to the finish lines. And I'm quite competitive in some ways. So I think that was why I was able to keep my cool. But I was very impressed with myself because I don't eat spice like at all. And, you know, I've watched episodes where like Cardi B, you know, drinking milk and ice cream, funneling ice cream down her throat. And I thought that would be me, but I bossed it. So
Yeah,
it's
you
cool.
really did. And what else? Is there anything that you've watched and you've thought, I can do that. I can do better than that, in fact.
Well, I definitely grew up also like watching Parkinson, like at home, like my parents would have it on. Graham Norton, I think is the best to ever do it. I actually saw him at a screening. He was hosting a screening, and I sometimes get asked if I have ever got starstruck, and I 100% got starstruck with him more than anyone I've ever met. And so to the point where I couldn't go up to him and introduce myself. And my friends were like, go and say hello, like go and say something. And I was like, I actually can't because this moment means too much to me, and I can't talk to him right now. So I'm yet to meet Graham Norton, but I know one day we might. And Mrs. Merton, I watched that.
Yeah.
Not when it was on, but not recently, but like I watched clips of it and on YouTube. I love Caroline Aherne. More recently, I love Z-Way and her show that she does, chat show that she does that's very specific as well, comedy leaning, and I think she's a fantastic comedian and host. Between Two Ferns, Zach Galifianakis was a big inspiration for Chicken Shop Date. Again, I love the humour and his line of questioning and how it's kind of half interview, half comedy skit, which I think is definitely something I've always tried Chicken Shop Date to be. I kind of see Chicken Shop Date as a performance, really, between two people, more than just an interview. Is there any... I've never thought, I can be better than them. I've actually always thought, of all these people, I've thought, wow, I'd love to be as good as you, and I'm going to do it in my own way.
I don't know why I asked you that, because it's an unlikely question from one woman to another in a way.
Yeah, I'm going to be better than them. There's people who don't do it very well that I think, I'm better than you, but they've never really made it that far.
And you've done the Oscars red carpet interviews, and you're so witty, and when most people ask such boring questions to the stars, and you also wear these dazzling dresses and with cutouts and things, and I wondered if you ever get distracted by your dress when you're interviewing someone.
No, but people get distracted by my dress when I'm interviewing them, and that's the point.
Right.
I definitely have been in lots of fittings with my stylist Chloe Griffin, where she brings some amazing outfits, and then we have to veto them because they're not appropriate to interview someone in. And they would be great if I was just attending as a guest and I was just there for my photo moment. But when I'm there and I'm interviewing someone and I have to be able to, my body has to turn to them and I have to be understanding what they're saying. I've tried on things, for example, like feathers coming out of my shoulders, and that's not going to work. Or massive long arms, or bubble dresses where I'm going to be at odds with the person I'm going to get in the way. We have to kind of really think about that. And also a lot of the time I actually don't want to be too wow. Like I want to be wow, but I don't want it to be too much that it's distracting. Like there's definitely outfits we've tried on that are like, oh my God, that's unbelievable, but it's actually too much because it's not for me to be that like take up that much of the limelight.
Yeah.
Even though I 100% think that the work that I do is slightly different to your usual journalist, where like I insert myself into the scenario more than others would, but I definitely still want it to feel like the dynamic is correct. And also you got to think about things like, are you too cold? Are you too hot? Like I hosted the premiere for Dune Part 2 in New York, and it was like 0 degrees. And I was shivering in my outfit, and it affected my performance for sure. It was one of my least favorite performances that I had done. And I definitely think it's because I was like freezing, and I could have worn something else.
Yeah, I was watching, you talking to these different men, and your wit was part of your brilliant outfit because they were so disarmed by you, and it was so enjoyable to watch you raising the game and them raising up with you instead of some of the other stuff, which is the opposite. So
yeah, I think it's quite it's true, it catches men off guard, I think, when there's a woman there and she's she looks glamorous, and then she's got this wit as well and this sarcasm, and maybe she's putting them in their place, or she's not fawning over them. It's they're like, what's happening? And I love that. I love it. I feel very powerful in those moments.
Yeah, you seem it in a really like agile way. And when you were talking to Willem Dafoe, who, God,
He's
that
great.
was very good. It was very. You could feel the chemistry. The chemistry of brain power and just how attractive the whole thing is.
It's so great when you can sense immediately when you meet someone, and you're like, okay, this is going to be great. This is going to be a great conversation, or they're going to understand. They're going to play ball here. But yeah, I think that the outfits that I wear and one wears, it's all a part of the story that you're telling and the character, that you're playing. And I think that it's really important to me to be very considered with what I wear. But then sometimes I go too far and I get too obsessed with what I'm wearing and how I'm looking, and it needing to be outstanding, and I can get too in my head with it, and it can actually take the fun out of it. Yeah.
It needs to kind of have your back, the outfit, rather than be preoccupying, doesn't it?
I agree. I still have, it's a work in progress with that, because some days I'm feeling really chilled about everything. Yeah, it doesn't matter what I wear, or like, yeah, this is great. People say it's good, I'll wear it. And then sometimes I'm like controlling to the max and like being like, this is average. This is not going to be like interesting enough. And like, you can just drive yourself insane.
I think it's important to do that, though. You're doing a good job of it. And you've talked about directing and your genius around romantic comedy, which you enact in your Chicken Shop Date. And whose work as a director do you admire? And I feel like you may have some dark, arty secrets somewhere.
That's a good question. I love Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah.
Magnolia, Boogie Nights.
Yeah. Incredible.
What else? I love Licorice Pizza as well.
I love that too.
I love, oh God, this is one of those questions where like you know all these things and then suddenly they all like
they just vanish.
Yeah. Noah Baumbach. I love Noah Baumbach. And the Mumblecore. Francis Ha, Mistress America, A Marriage Story. Squid and the Whale, I think. I love him. I love Spike Lee. Yeah. I just watched Malcolm X for the first time the other day. because I had just watched this film called K-pop Demon Hunters. Have you heard about it?
No.
Okay, neither had I. It's the #1 movie on Netflix ever.
God.
Came out this summer. It's a cartoon, and right now in the charts, we're filming this in September, beginning of September. 3 of the songs are in the top 10, and the #1 song in the UK right now is from this movie. And I thought, okay, well, I have to watch it because I need to have my finger on the pulse. And I watched it, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be for a movie called K-pop Demon Hunters. It was quite Frozen-esque, but after watching that, I thought I gotta watch something that's a bit more with a bit more gravitas. So I watched Malcolm X by Spike Lee.
Do you like anyone like? I mean, my favourite director is Buñuel, because they're so sort of surrealist and weird, and also very sexy and sort of perverse.
I don't know.
He did Belle de Jour.
No, I've not seen it.
He did all sorts of eccentric film. I mean, he was a genius, but I like him. And in fact, there's this new film coming out in late October called Messy, and it's directed, written, and stars this young woman called Alexi Wassa, and it was voted by John Waters as the top film of 2024.
Wow, okay, I need to watch that.
Yes.
I love John Waters.
So ingenious, and it's like a sexual rom-com.
No way.
And it's very funny and entertaining. So
I need to watch that.
Yeah.
I also have got quite obsessed with Ryan Coogler, who did Sinners and Black Panther, and I just think he's an amazing storyteller, and I think that I just really love his point of view, and I think he's fantastic. God, there's so many others that I'm missing.
But how did you decide on the briefness of Chicken Shop Date? Because that's something, originally I wanted to make this as a very, very short chat show. And, you know, it didn't work out. I couldn't find anyone to commission. I couldn't find a platform, all those things. Mm-hmm. But then when it came to making it, it just sort of took over and ended up being longer, much longer. And I think it's a masterstroke to do something that's brief and leaves people wanting more.
Well, I think it's just that, well, first of all, I've had that conversation with so many people in terms of people with ideas that have pitched it to other places, had an idea for a show or whatever it is, and never been able to find a home for it. And then I've always said to them, make it yourself. Don't wait, make it yourself. And I think that, you know, that always works. You know, that's what you have to do. That's what I did. That's what you've done. And I think so many other people now are doing that. And now we have the platforms like YouTube, and you can just make it yourself. In terms of the brevity of and the shortness of the show and what I do, I just don't have the patience for it. I watch the edits back, and, you know, I film for about 40 minutes, 50 minutes, and then I think, God, this is boring, it's not funny, like, cut it out. I just think I'm just like ruthless with it. I just think if it's not going to make you laugh, for me, I'm not putting it in. And that's just my show, and everyone is different. But with Chicken Shop Day, it's like, if it's not going to make you laugh, or it doesn't tackle one of the themes of the show, which is like around dating, or it's not an awkward moment, or, you know, something like that, then I just won't put it in. And I've tried to be sincere in the show. Sometimes I go, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to like ask a serious question. And I do. And then I'm in the edit and I think, God, this is weird. I cut it out. So, you know, I think you got to be ruthless with what speaks to you. And then that creates your own genre of something.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think I was, just inspired maybe by like things I was watching. Like, you know, I spoke about like Between Two Ferns, or, you know, even comedy shows like The Office, or just sketch comedy where, you know, you don't have long, you got to make your point. I think that so much of comedy is in the timing of things, and often in the briefness of something is where comedy really thrives. So I think that's why my show is the way it is.
Have you ever tried recording for 10 minutes and that's that? Or do you always go for
Chicken Shop Date, we can't. But I recently just filmed a new series, sports series, and I had 15 minutes with each sports person. Gosh. And I had to make something out of that. And we have. So I was pretty impressed with that. And with a red carpet, I have 2 minutes. So I am well versed with not having much time. For me, I think it would be harder to do something that was longer, because I feel like, again, I'd be self-conscious because there's so much more to judge. I also think that probably when other people watch, if someone were to watch what I did in full, they'd think, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Why don't you put this in? This is great. And I'm just like, ugh, no.
That's so good to be so certain. Well, I suppose connected really to your instinct about what works. And that seems really clear. And you don't have any music on Chicken Shop Date apart from you have the noise of frying and. No,
we got the theme song.
Yeah. But again, it's brilliant. You create this kind of tension with the sound of the chips and have you become a superstar in the chicken shop fraternity?
Maybe. I do get free chicken quite a lot.
Really?
Yeah. And when I'm at restaurants, chicken will come over unprovoked to me. And I will have to eat it, no matter if I'm already full or not.
Gosh.
Yeah.
And do you get solicited by different chains or branches of chicken shops and asked if they...
Really? We've got certain ones we like to go to. We're friends with them, and I like the aesthetics, and I like the people who work there, and they're in good locations for... Because again, it's a location, it's a shooting location. So for me, I have to think about if it's in a good location for the talent to arrive to.
You don't do any kind of West End chicken shops?
They don't exist. Trust me.
Really?
I have tried. I would love if there was an authentic local chicken shop to be opened in Soho, please, because the amount of publicists that want their talent to be filmed in Soho and we can't. So I would really like that. Could someone open one?
There's loads around Ladbroke Grove area. Do you actually eat it?
Yeah.
Really?
I love chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets and chips. That's my go-to. But I don't like chicken on the bone. But so I just eat chicken nuggets. But yeah. But I kind of nibble them because I'm thinking about my questions.
Yeah.
And then I look down and I've just got a box of nibbled nuggets and chips. But I think it's nice to have food when you're interviewing someone because it kind of breaks the ice in a way, and it kind of makes it more familiar, the setting.
And you don't get too nervous to even nibble at those chicken nuggets?
I don't get too nervous anymore. And you got to eat.
Yeah, I always find it really hard to eat when I'm nervous, but deep fried is quite good actually because it kind of opens up your appetite and makes you able to absorb something, and then you can...
Does it?
Yeah. When I'm really, really nervous, and I find it hard to eat when I'm nervous.
Deep fried?
Deep fried with mayonnaise.
Wow.
It's like just...
Are you sure that's like what someone says
I know.
when they're trying to say why they need to have more deep fried food? There's actually a health benefit to it.
Well, yeah, there is. There's a mental health benefit for me, so I do enjoy it.
That's fun.
I know the show is going on a date, but I wondered how you get people to feel close to you when you're not sparring.
I guess it's just that idea of me being weird in my own way is a way that disarms them, because I think they think, okay, well, something's going on there, so I can feel at ease because I'm not as weird as you.
Yeah.
And I think being quirky and in that way, and often filling the silence actually, can make you feel close to someone.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I honestly have just always had a knack for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when, like everyone's probably got a knack for something, and I've just always had that. I've just been able to like connect with people.
Now I wondered, sometimes being sort of quick-witted and clever and brilliant, it's people don't know how to comfort one. I mean, sometimes I feel like I don't know how to get comfort because I'm very good at closing down the shutters.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a habit, a reflex almost. And do you have that or not really? Is it one of my old warped habits?
I feel like I definitely probably could be warmer, maybe people would have that, like friends even might say that about me, but I also am a very open person. And I feel like I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I definitely say most things that come to my thoughts. I think I'm quite self-aware. But I definitely also feel like maybe I have a tendency to not let people in as much as others do, or show love in the way that maybe people do that show it quite like just giving it out everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's hard to say of yourself. I feel like other people would be a better judge of that.
Yeah. I'm always interested in that.
Let's phone them up.
And someone once asked me what's the best compliment I ever received, and I thought it was such a good question, and I wondered what the best compliment you've ever received is.
Oh my God, that is such a good question.
Isn't that
And I
brilliant?
definitely feel like I've remembered a moment when someone said something to me and I've thought, oh, that's so nice. A great compliment. I mean, I always blush when someone says I'm good at dancing.
Oh, that's
Because I
great.
love to dance. And I think then most of the time they're joking, but I still take it as for real. But I think, I just think if someone says you're a good friend, like I think that's such a great compliment. And I think always means so much to me when someone has said that, because I try so hard to be a good friend. And my friends are everything to me, and I really work on my friendships, and I have such great friendships. And so if someone says I'm a good friend, then I can sleep easy at night.
I mean, being a good friend is almost like a service, but being a good dancer,
Nothing can top it. Nothing can top it.
That's really something.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you do a little shoulder movement on your show, and it's like, ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
And you always seem to get a great response to that too.
I do. I give the people what they want.
Yeah.
They're easy to please.
I don't know. I think you're very good at your dancing. So, well, thank you so much for coming on Fashion Neurosis, Amelia.
Is that it?
I mean, I could talk to you for like 10 hours or whatever, but
it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me on this very comfortable sofa.
well, anytime, come back.
I'll now gracefully get out.